Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. This is the Ramsey Show. The phone number is 888-825-5225. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. But I got a special treat for you guys right now. We are going to spend a few moments here introducing our newest Ramsey personality, money personality, Jade Warshaw. Welcome.
Thanks, Dave. Thanks for having me. This is exciting stuff, man.
Hey, this is. Everybody's gathered around, all of your biggest fans in the building, which is everybody.
I see them out there.
And they're gathered around to watch this moment happen. This has been going on a while. Of course, you've been with the team for a while, and today we bring you on the air for the first time. And you folks will be hearing from her a lot more in the coming months, the coming years, at events, with books, with showing up here on this microphone as we answer questions about your life and your money. So, what brings you, for the sake of the audience, I know, but what brings you here? Give us a little bit of your background.
I'll be happy to, Dave. You know, my background is actually not in money, and I tell people that. My background is actually in entertainment. I was a vocalist for 15 years, Dave, professionally. My husband and I performed over 92 countries all around the world. And when we came out of music school, we found out, we discovered, Dave, that we had close to $500,000 of debt. $460,000 of debt is what we had.
Good Lord.
Unbelievable. And, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm not talking about like mortgage debt, Dave. This is consumer debt. This is credit cards, Dave.
This
and
is for
student
music
loans.
school.
Music. And you know, Dave,
music school.
You know
which
how
is
good,
known for big pay.
Oh, and you know how good musicians manage money. Almost as good as athletes, right?
There's a reason for the stereotype. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it was all student loan debt, or most of it was?
No, most of it was student loan debt. $280,000 of it, Dave, was student loan debt. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Unbelievable. And so we knew we needed to make a change. And I had heard of you before. I remember years ago, I had heard you on the car, in my brother's car. You were on the radio talking about debt. I'm pretty sure you were calling somebody stupid and kicking their butt. But in that moment, it was you, Dave.
What?
Yeah, and you were kicking our butt too. And I told Sam, I was like, man, I think we need to do this Dave Ramsey thing. And from then on, we got serious. We started the plan. And in 7.5 years, Dave, we were able to pay off every single cent of $460,000 of debt. And if I could add, because I know whenever I say that, people are like, ooh, you must have had like this, you know, this big income, or you must have like magic beans or something like that. I'm telling you guys, when we came out of college, we got married 1 week, Dave, after graduation. And I mean, when I tell you we had no jobs, we had no prospects, we had no money, all we had was that $460,000 of debt, and our income was super low because musicians, you know, our income at the time starting out, Dave, was $30K. That's where we started.
So how'd you get out then? Well, that was starting though.
That was starting. Look, yeah. I tell people all the time, you got to work. There's like you say all the time, there's a wonderful place to go when you don't have any money. That's to work. And that's what we did. We started, of course, we were in the entertainment thing. So we were doing gigs, and that started picking up. But you know what, Dave, I attribute a lot of this because I think that when you decide to submit to a plan, something really magical happens, and you start getting, when you say, I want to work and I'm willing to work, you start to receive opportunities to work, and you start to see them everywhere. And when you say, I'm going to do that, then that's what you do. So we started working everywhere. I mean, at one point we were traveling 35 weeks out of the year internationally, doing shows. And then in between the shows, we would pick up side gigs. I'm talking about, we were doing everything. My husband was teaching lessons. I was teaching lessons. I would bake cupcakes and sell the cupcakes. My husband would design websites. At one point, I got a job working at a tint and vinyl lettering company. And so I would go in there in the daytime, and the first half of the day, I would install tint on the windows. And then in the second half of the day, I would put vinyl letters on work trucks. So if you've ever seen a truck that says like, I don't know, like Bubba's Roofing or Bubba's Heating and Cooling, that was me.
You did it.
Those letters were straight, Dave. Those letters
they were on there. You guys were getting it.
Man.
Y'all were stepping and fetching. I mean, you were getting after it. The hustle and grind, the grit. And to pay off $460,000 in 7.5 years, you don't do that sitting around and people handing you money. You went and got money and caused it to happen. It's a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
And, one of the things that we talked about, you and Sam and Sharon and I were at dinner when we were talking about you guys coming on board here, and you said growing up, your family had a saying, and you don't want to ever hear that saying again.
Oh, yeah. Growing up, my parents, they did the best they could with what they had. And, I think as in so many American families, that paycheck to paycheck, it's real. And I used to hear all the time, we ain't got no money. By the time the end of the month rolls around, we ain't got no money. And I just, it just frustrated me to no end. And, I'd been there so many times that by the time I got married and knew that I wanted a family, that was a phrase that I vowed I would not say. Now we can save up money until we can afford to do things, and we can say no temporarily, but that's a whole different mindset than just saying, I ain't got it. I ain't got no money. That is a phrase that will not be in my vocabulary other than to teach others how to get out of that mentality.
Yeah, and warning already, I'll let some of you know, if it's in your vocabulary, she's going to remove it.
Oh, I've gotten permission to kick some butts in here, Dave. I'm ready. Y'all gave me formal permission to kick butts.
It's in the contract.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so talk about with the team, what you're going to be doing with the Ramsey team here.
So, the big thing for me is baby step 2. Y'all are going to hear me talk about baby step 2 all the time because we spent 7.5 years there. I know how to get out of that. I know how to motivate you. I know how to set your mind right so that you're going to start working. And I hope to do that. A lot of that co-hosting the show, with the team, the Ramsey Show. We've got some live events coming up in the spring, Building Wealth. I'll be a part of some of those events. And, it's been really fun. I've been working a lot with the Financial Peace University team. So I think you're going to see me as part of that. So we've got some things planned. We got some plans in the work, Dave. It's going to be good.
I saw a thing you guys were working on, 6-figure freedom.
Come on.
That's a good phrase.
Dave, I almost come out of my chair when you said that. 6-figure freedom. This is what this is all about. I read a stat that said the average millennial has $117,000 of debt. Consumer debt, again, not mortgage debt. And I think to myself, people say, oh, Jade, you had 460. That's the high end of the 460, right? Or of the 6 figures. But people come in at 117K. That's the norm now. And I said, there is something in this 6-figure freedom club. We are going to make sure that the content is there to keep you motivated, keep you moving forward, and you will pay off 6 figures of debt. You can tell me you won't do it, Dave, but do not tell me that you can't.
Don't say we ain't got no money. She's not going to accept it. I'm just telling you. I love it. Jade Warshaw, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the team. Awesome times here at Ramsey, folks. Awesome times. This lady's on fire. You guys are going to grow to love her as we have very, very quickly. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Phone number is 888-825-5225. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. In case you couldn't tell, debt-free screams are kind of a big deal around here. The folks who stand on this stage are heroes. The people who call in and are debt-free, tell their story, are heroes. They chose to live like no one else, and now they get to live and give like no one else. So we came up with the idea of the Live and Give box. So it's got goodies in it. It's got the Total Money Makeover book. Over 8 million copies sold. That's a good one to give, but you might want to keep it. You can get an entire year of Financial Peace University. And you get the latest #1 bestseller, Baby Steps Millionaires. All of this in one box. Keep some of it, give some of it. It's the Live and Give box, $99. That's a deal, along with a bazillion other deals, obviously, for the Christmas holidays, all at Ramsey Solutions. So RamseySolutions.com. Be sure and check out the store there. If you want the Live and Give box, it's RamseySolutions.com/box. Madison is with us in Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Madison, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, George. It's an honor and a privilege. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, thank you. How can we help today?
It's actually a career question. I'm 27 years old. I'm a registered nurse. I just left my specialty of 7 years for what I thought was my dream job. I thought I was leaving for a job that was a perfect fit, and I was super excited to start. But I'm slowly realizing that it's a very toxic work environment, and it's not what I signed up for. I've pretty much decided that it's not a good fit for me mentally and physically. I'm just asking of how I need to proceed to leave on the best terms possible.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
So you got another gig. You got another gig you can go to, obviously, in nursing, right?
Yes, and I'm trying to find something that I'm honestly passionate about. I think the most frustrating part about all of this is that I really felt like I put the time into making sure that this was a good fit for me to move into my career.
What'd you miss?
I'm sorry?
What did you miss?
Leadership. Okay. Leadership. I think that's my biggest problem right now, and that's something that I can't change, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just saying, if you stepped in a trap once before, I would want to know what that trap looks like and smells like if you're going through the forest again, right?
Yes. And I do feel like I've learned a lot in this experience. It's just, I need to leave. It's not a good fit.
Okay.
How would you describe the environment? You're saying it's a toxic workplace. There's not good leadership. What does that look like in the day-to-day?
Chaos. I really feel kind of the backstory of this is that the person that is training me, he actually fired, and I am now expected to step into this position. Too many icky things have happened, and I just don't feel right about it. You know, it's just not who I want to be working under as somebody who wants to be in a leadership position.
Okay, so you've got people that are struggling with integrity, they're struggling with communication, they're struggling with organizational skills. So we know who they are, and you cannot control how they react, although we can fairly predict it.
Yes,
I mean, who you just described to me is probably not going to react with class.
No, and I've already seen it.
Yeah, so that doesn't change who you are. It just states who they are. And so the only thing you can do is don't expect an alligator to do anything but be an alligator. Number one. So don't set your expectations that regardless of what you do, that somehow you're going to make these people be something other than toxic, because they're probably going to react in a toxic manner. Just be ready for that. Brace yourself, right? That doesn't define you. That defines them. And that doesn't also, on the second part of the equation then, is it also doesn't dictate how you handle this. You handle this not based on them, but based on you. You're a person of class. You're a person of integrity. And so you're going to be that person here. And so you're going to be calm and kind and direct. And by the way, there's no reason to critique them on the way out. It will do no good.
Should I offer advice if they ask for it?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. That's just standard exit interview crap that they're not going to take the advice, or they would have already been doing all these things. I personally don't believe in exit interviews. We do them at Ramsey because a bunch of my leadership team disagrees with me, and I acquiesced and let them do them. But I don't need an exit interview. I'm staying. I'm going to keep it being who I am, and I don't really give a crap what your opinion is if you're leaving. So that's me. That may be toxic, but it is what it is. I'm staying. You're not. So why do I care what you think? So anyway, besides that, these people aren't going to listen. And you're no longer my point of that whole rant was you're not in a position of credibility once you've quit to influence decisions there. The only way you can influence decisions there is staying with your shoulder to the wheel. But once you've decided to leave, you're not in a position of influence.
So do what's best for me and my family.
Yeah, very quickly, quietly, calmly, with as few sentences and as few things in writing as possible, other than just thank you for the opportunity. This whole situation is just different than I thought it was. It doesn't line up with the way I think, and I can't do this, and I am so sorry. And gosh, thank you for letting me try, and thank you for the opportunity, and I've accepted a thing at another place. Bye. And it's just really, 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 really short.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
This gave me a lot of guidance.
Yeah, just be very, very kind and quiet and quick. The decision's made. There's nothing that's going to change the decision by having a long discussion, and you're going to get drawn into their web of garbage if you start having a discussion about it. Because you're gone.
Thank you.
You're gone. You already told me you're gone. There's nothing they can do that'll make you stay, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the decision's made. It's just now a matter of executing it. And again, you're a person of class, a person of integrity. So leave with lots of class and smile and grateful. Thank you for letting me try this. I'm so sorry it didn't work out. And gosh, I wish you guys the best. I hope everything works well. And, good luck with your toxic bad self. And so...
Well, a lot of people feel like I owe my employer all of this when I'm leaving. And so it's like a breakup when you're a teenager. You don't want to drag it out and make it this big emotional process. If it's done, it's done. And we have to be adults and just move on.
And, truthfully, the same is true on the other side of the coin. The way we train leadership here and the way we train entree leaders is if you're going to work with someone and give that person a bunch of input, do that before you fire them. So we're going to work together. We're going to have some difficult conversations. We're going to say this activity, this behavior, this attitude, whatever it is, that has to change. You're going to do better. You're going to prosper if you adopt these character qualities. We're going to walk with you and help you and coach you. And if you don't, then you can't be a we because we do it this way. And so we're going to talk about being a we, talk about it. But once we've decided that the relationship as far as employment is going to end, the exit for the person is about 1.5 minutes long.
As quickly as possible.
Yeah, it's just, we've been talking about this, and I'm so sorry, but we don't think it's going to work anymore, and today's your last day. And so HR will help you with the paperwork, and we've agreed to give you a severance of this much. And gosh, any way we can help you out there in the world, we'll help you any way we can, but we don't believe that there's a change is going to happen anymore. And just boom. The
quiet quitters do not survive that, Dave.
No, we don't do. It's very, very loud. Not in the sense of yelling, but it's very crystal clear. And long before we got to quiet firing, or it wouldn't be quiet firing, it would be loud firing, a direct, clear firing.
There we go.
Long before we got that with a quiet quitter, we would have had these discussions like
coaching and
this idea
90-day plans.
Mediocrity is your goal. You ain't a we. We don't do mediocrity. We're going for excellence. We're trying to win the Super Bowl. So you're not going to fit in. We go for it. And so if you want to be a we, you got to go for it. And we would have had that discussion, and then the quiet quitting would have ceased.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Merry Christmas, America. We're glad you're with us. The phone number here is 888-825-5225. Jesse is with us in Pennsylvania. How are you, Jesse?
I'm doing great, Dave. Hey, before we get started, I'd just like to say thank you. Outside of other than my immediate family, you and one other person have probably been the biggest influences in my life, and I want to thank you for that.
Oh, my goodness.
Merry Christmas.
I'm honored. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
I grew up on a farm, and, our farm trucks that hauled the hay bales and stuff, they only had AM radios in it. So it's like me, my dad, and my grandpa riding around listening to Dave Ramsey.
You were stuck with me. You were stuck. Nothing else to listen to.
It's called a captive audience.
It was great, man. That's the way to grow up, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. How can we help today?
So I kind of am just looking for some reassurance. So we started a business. It was a hobby. By the way, we're in baby steps 4, 5, and 6. We haven't put any money into 6 for a while, and I'm kind of looking for some reassurance that we've done this right. We started a dairy, a micro dairy. So it's a little farm. Farming's my passion, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm a real estate agent, and I don't have time to practice real estate now because back in 2019, when we launched our little hobby, we made $5,000. It was a great hobby. It was fun. People thought it was a lot of fun. So 2020 comes, COVID happens, Pennsylvania says, no more real estate agents. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to see where this goes. We made $30,000. This isn't gross sales. We're profit margins like 45 to 50%. And then in 2021, we're at 72,000 in sales. And this year, we're probably going to top out around 125,000 in sales. It's going amazingly well. Our community loves it. The surrounding community loves it. We're putting on events at other farms and our own farm. We're selling this stuff out. Everything's going great. It's a passion for me and my wife at this point. Problem is, I could make as much money as a real estate agent in 40 hours as it's taking me 80 to do it in this. And it's just like, are we being responsible with our time at this point? We've been really responsible with our money. We've cash flowed this thing, and every dime I make, I put back into this thing, by the way, because my wife's a physician's assistant. She works 12-hour shifts at the local hospital in internal medicine, so she makes twice as much money as I ever will all the time. And we have 3 little kids, 11, 8, and 4, and we're just really busy. Are we doing the right thing? That's my question.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
If you see a path to get off the rat wheel, you have to see you have to see a point that, okay, so like when we started this, I was working 16 hours a day. I would come in at 7. I was home at midnight because I would do Financial Peace University with an overhead projector at night. And for 2 years, my wife was basically a single mom because we were starting this. But we saw a path that we were going to get enough scale that we could hire help. We could find ways to produce without me personally being the only one producing. And at that point, one of the things we did was we put Financial Peace University on VHS tapes. That's 1 million years ago, right? But I mean, we found a business model that allowed us to not, because I don't want you to sign up for 16 hours for 125,000, 16-hour days for 15 years. No, I would not do that.
Right.
But I think you've seen a growth curve and a pattern here. You probably already have some ways to scale. And if you can get a little bit more scale and start hiring into some of these other positions, delegate, get your life back by you give up some of your margin to payroll to have a life. then and it may be another year, it may be another 18 months before you're able to do that. Maybe I don't know where the magic number is, 175,000 top line. I don't know where it is, but you've got to see a path, because what you're doing is not sustainable. It's working like no one else, but later I need to be able to work like no one else.
Can you set some business goals and say, here's what I want it to be. I want to hire 2 people. We have to make 200 top line. I want to do real estate this much on the side, and that means I need to be in the business this much. Start setting some of those goals instead of it feels like right now you're just kind of like, oh, wow, we made more than last year. This is cool, but you're putting so much time in.
A month-to-month thing here. Yeah, we're doing a month. Like every month, it's like, okay, we did this. Hey, we won this month. We won that month. And, I have some distant goals, like the I don't know who said this, but somebody said, put your vision out there in 10 years and build it backwards.
That's not a bad one.
I know what I want in 10 years.
Yeah, but you haven't built it backwards.
I just haven't built it backwards yet.
Right,
yeah.
Right. And what George is talking about, around here we call it stage gating. It says, okay, we're not hiring a developer and a digital marketer for this product until it hits this amount of revenue. But then when it hits this amount of revenue, we can justify staffing into that particular project. But we're not going to hire them and hope it works out. We're going to build. We're going to gut it. We're going to sweat equity it. Some of the pull from some other teams, poach off of some other resources inside the building legally, and get the little thing up off of the incubator and get it running. And when it hits X number of revenue, then we'll staff into it. And that's called stage gating. When you hit a certain gate, a certain stage, you open that gate. And so that's what George is talking about, and that's a very, very good way for you to have some hope that you're not stuck like a rat in a wheel. If you have that, you should keep going.
Yeah. Like I said, this is our passion. Neither one of us want to give this up, neither or my wife.
Yeah, but it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable.
Yeah, she's cranking 35, 40 hours into this thing, too, on top of being mom and physician assistant.
Yeah, it's not sustainable. You can't do this for a decade. So I already
told her I probably can't do it for 6 more months.
You could do it for another year if you knew at the end of that year there was relief. But you can't do it where there's no hope at the end. So there's a difference between being tired and being burned out. Burned out is there's no hope at the end. Tired is I'm about to get there. It's the same exact feeling, though.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I am tired. Everybody will say that.
Well, yeah. I'm tired listening to you. I mean, some of the hardest working you ever do is dairy. That's hard freaking work. I had a friend of mine grew up on a dairy, and she said her dad convinced them growing up that Labor Day was the day you worked the hardest.
My dad told me one time, he said, this is the life we've chosen.
Yeah, exactly. And you can unchoose it, but you need to choose that we're not going to do this ad infinitum, forever and ever, amen. This is not a song, it's your life. And so, really good question. But you're a good man, you're a hard worker, you're smart people, your wife's a hard worker, she's a good woman, you have a good marriage, you're setting goals, you're hitting them, but you need a point where you say, at that point, I get some relief. At that point, I get some relief. And I'll give you another example. When the book Total Money Makeover came out, we did 47 days I was gone from home. We did like 22 live events, something like 300 media hits, something like 56 book signings. And when I got done, I was like almost in the hospital, right? I mean, from just sheer freaking exhaustion. But we knew it was going to end. And I told my wife's at home with 3 kids. I'm on the road. I'm done. I mean, Total Money Makeovers comes out of the gate as a number 1, stays number 1. We pushed it. To this day, almost 20 years later, we're still running off of some of the momentum that concentrated amount of time kicked off, right? But that's not sustainable. And it's not sustainable in our marriage. Sharon said, I can do this for 47 days. I can't do it for 68 days. And I'm not going to. You're coming home. And I said, I can do this for 4. I can do another live event. I can sign another book. If there's an end to it, and then we get to win because of the price that was paid. And so you got to dial up that thing of, it's almost like we were talking about a while ago with the lady quitting her job or letting someone leave Ramsey in Jesus' name, right? I mean, you reach a point. Henry Cloud talks about necessary endings, and his book is called Necessary Endings. In Necessary Endings, he says, you have to end something when there's no hope it's going to get better. And he's got plenty of hope it's going to get better.
And Jesse, I'm going to send you a copy of Dave's bestseller, Entree Leadership. It's going to help you get off this treadmill and grow and scale this thing to where you want it to go. Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined by Dave Ramsey this hour, and we are taking your calls at 888-825-5225.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Tracy is next up in Lynchburg, Virginia. Hi, Tracy. How are you?
Oh, Dave and George, I'm so excited to be here, and only by the grace of God, I am better than I deserve.
Good for you. How can we help?
Okay, so I had it moment back in August. Since then, I've paid off $15,000. I'm still $70,000 in debt. I make $90,000. I'm 51 years old, and I've been divorced for a year and a half. I work at a company. I've been with them for it was an amicable split. It was the best thing for both of us, and God has seen us both through. So I'm very grateful for having a good relationship with him ending this, but it was what we needed to do. So I worked for a company. I'm still working for a company for 30 years. Back in 2009, they froze their pension, and we got a notice back in September that they are actually terminating the pension, which will take place next year. We don't get a benefits report until March, but I know that we have three options that we have to make a decision for in July. One would be a lump sum distribution. The second is to roll it over, and the third is to start monthly annuity payments at that time. I have Googled this till my eyeballs want to pop out of my head.
There's only 4,000 answers on Google, I'm sure.
I know, and I cannot get a clear answer, and I know that, and I'm uncertain. I'm sure there's going to be penalties.
No, there's not. No, you're going to roll it. You're going to roll it to an IRA. Zero penalties. You're going to take the lump sum and put it into an IRA. Get with a SmartVestor Pro. They'll help you do the paperwork properly. It's a direct transfer rollover. There's no penalties. There's no taxes. And it will grow from that point, tax deferred. You're going to use a traditional IRA. That way there's no taxes. If you roll it to a Roth, it's taxable, but don't do that.
Okay, that was another question.
You don't want to make it a Roth because it'll be taxable then. And you make all of that income because it's going to be a sizable lump sum. You've been there a while.
I've been there a while, and I was there 17 years when they froze it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to have it's going to be $100,000 plus in it, isn't it?
Okay, so you would not take the lump sum.
No, you're going to get taxed. You're going to get taxed.
And taxed and penalties.
Yeah, taxed. At least taxed. I'm not sure if they close it, if you're penalized. I'm not positive off the top of my head. Doesn't matter. You're not going to do that. You're going to do a traditional IRA direct transfer rollover with your SmartVestor Pro in the four types of mutual funds we talk about: growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. And by the way, this is great news.
It is. I'm so excited. I've listened to you forever, and like I said, a fire got lit under me back in August, and I'm like, I make too much money on my own to be drowning like this, and I'm taking charge. And when that came in the mail, I knew it was the Lord saying, this is good news. So I have a 401k at work. It's a traditional one, and I have $300,000 in there currently.
Good.
Do I put that in that one, or do I open a separate one?
No, it's not. You cannot add it to a 401k. That's not an option. You can't.
Oh, okay.
I would just roll it to an IRA with a SmartVestor Pro. You pick the mutual funds. You're in total control. This money is leaving this company and will have nothing to do with them ever again. When you die, that money is laying there. In the meantime, it is earning more than it would have made in the pension. And so it's good news all the way around. But just if you don't have a SmartVestor Pro, go to RamseySolutions.com, click on SmartVestor. You can get a list of the people in your area that are in our SmartVestor Pro program that do things the way we teach. And then you can meet with them and choose among them the one that best suits you. And that's the way
a lot of people call in with pension questions, Dave. And if you have the option, let's say a listener's going, I started a new job, they're giving me the option of a pension or 401k, we would say go for the 401k because you have way more control over it and it stays with you. Usually,
and that's assuming that they are putting something into the 401k since they don't have to put something into the pension. If they give you that option, usually they're doing some kind of really sweet match in the 401k, and the company would rather you go to the 401k. It's better for both of you, the company and them, because the company doesn't have to keep up and manage your investments. Your 401k is your own investment. So that's a good point, George. Very good point. Ryan is in Baltimore. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how you doing, guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I got a couple questions for you. My wife and I have been married for 2 years, and we will be out of consumer debt by the end of February. We don't have a house. We're currently renting right now from my grandmother. So once we're done paying off the rest of our debt, we'll obviously be saving up for a down payment on our house. Once we're out of debt and we're done throwing everything extra towards debt, we'll probably be making $5,000 a month after our monthly expenses. So while we're doing that, should we be putting that $5,000 roughly into mutual funds or just putting it into savings? And right now we're also investing about $500 a month into 2 retirement accounts as well. $500 total, $250 each.
Okay. Ryan, how long have you been listening to the show?
For consistently about the last month and a half. I took Dave Ramsey's class in high school. When I was homeschooled. So I've been kind of like on and off with Dave Ramsey for a while now.
Cool. Well, you're doing some good things. You're just doing them all at once and not in the right order. So if you're walking through the baby steps, you should be putting all of your effort, every single penny of margin towards the debt, which means we're not investing currently. And there was a spot in between. You said, hey, once we're debt free, we're going to get the down payment. But you were missing the fully funded emergency fund. So do you currently have savings for the emergency fund?
Yeah, so technically right now we do, but I'm kind of not walking through the baby steps originally. Like we've got about $16,000 sitting in savings. We're actually going to pay off the car totally. We'll still have like $2,000 or $3,000 left after that.
I'm sorry. How much debt do you have?
It's about $26,000.
And what's in savings?
16.
16 in savings.
16. Yeah.
So if you took that down to 1, that would leave you with 15 you could throw at this debt.
Yep. That's what we plan on doing.
Today,
yes.
Yeah, okay. Now, baby step 1's $1,000. Baby step 2 is pay off all of your debts. Once all of your debts are paid off, baby step 3 is build an emergency fund. So you go back to that $1,000 account and you raise it up to a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Then you start saving for the down payment on your home. Until then, you don't restart your retirement plan, which you stop today.
Okay.
Because I want that $500 added to that $5,000 and make it $6,000 because you tighten up the budget because I want to, and that means you're debt free in 2 months. And then you build your emergency fund. Let's call that $15,000 in 3 more months. Then you, I'm making that up, but that's if that's what it is. And then in 3 more months, you've got to starting to have 4 more months. You're starting to have a good down payment. This time next year, you start shopping for houses, and you'll have a good down payment with a fully funded emergency fund and no debt. And you restart your retirement at that point.
And the reason for all this is not because we're trying to be legalistic, Ryan, not because Dave said so, but because it actually freaking works when you do it in this order with intensity, with focus. And we've seen so many people do it the right way, and we've seen a lot do it the wrong way. And 6 months later, they're calling us saying, your plan didn't work. And we're going, Oh, you didn't do our plan. You did your plan.
Did your version of our plan,
so
which is not our plan. It's your plan. Yeah.
Don't be Dave-ish, which is what we call it. Go all in on this stuff, and I promise you're going to call us back and say, I did it. We paid off all the debt. We got our home now. We have a fully funded emergency fund. We're investing for the future. Man, it gives you such peace and confidence.
This has nothing to do with it being the Ramsey way or Ramsey-ish. It has to do with what is the fastest, right way to become wealthy. What is the most efficient use that moves you along the process the fastest and the easiest? And that's what this system is, and we've used it for so many years that we've proven that that's the case. And so, total focus on baby steps 1, 2, 3 till you get there, then do your down payment, then restart your emergency fund, and you'll be in a really good shape. So, well done. Well done. This is The Ramsey Show.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Kathy is in Reno starting off this hour. Hi, Kathy. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Yes, I had a hospital bill that has gone into collections. It's at just over $1,000, but it has interest, so it's really $1,100. I have made them offers, which they have rejected. My last offer was $500, and now they're saying they will not take any offers or negotiations, only paid in full. So I just need help navigating this, and also I want to know if it's legal for them to charge interest on medical debt.
Sure. It's perfectly legal.
Okay.
Why do you not have $1,000?
A lot of reasons.
What would it take for you to get $1,000 in the next 30 days? What would you have to do?
I really am not sure. My situation's a little different, so.
Are you working currently?
Sort of. I am a missionary.
You're a what? Say again?
A missionary.
Oh, okay. All right.
So is income provided to you through donors, the ministry?
Yes.
So how much do you make a month?
About $2,000.
Okay. And you're trying to provide housing and eat and do your mission work.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different things that take the form of mission. Okay. And so I don't know what constrictions there are on your time. Constraints there are on your time, but if there's any way you could work 3 nights a week, you can find $1,000 pretty quick and make this problem go away. You're trying to nickel and dime a very small problem. It's not a small problem in your world because you don't have a lot of money coming in and you don't have any money, but it might as well be $10,000 emotionally, right? But
yes.
That's the bad news. The good news is it really is only $1,000. And not to minimize the pain that you're feeling or the stress or the frustration you're feeling with this, but sitting back here, I mean, do you have a car?
No.
Okay.
Not that size, no.
What do you mean? Did you say not that size?
No, we have one, but we borrow it. It's not our car.
Okay. Are you allowed to use it to, say, deliver food?
Yes.
So you could work with the car 3 nights a week doing Uber Eats as an example?
Sure, yes.
Okay. How many nights could you do that? 6, 7?
Maybe 2.
2. Okay. All right. And as many hours as you can possibly work on those 2 nights, the more the better. And the quicker you get rid of this, the quicker you don't have to do that anymore. Agreed?
Yes.
Yeah. And so, what type of mission organization are you with?
Well, I don't really want to say too much, but we're worldwide. We do pretty much everything under the sun.
Okay.
But mostly humanitarian.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to figure out we've worked with a lot of evangelical Christian situations. LDS does a 2-year plan. There's all kinds of...
Okay, Christian.
I'm sorry?
It's Christian.
Okay.
It's a Christian organization.
Okay, all right. I mean, like Youth with a Mission, we've done a lot of stuff with those folks, and those are usually shorter stints. Young Life, a lot of those folks work on support. So we've interacted with a whole bunch of people in your situation. That's why I'm trying to, figure out a way to be helpful here. So,
yes.
Again, the bad news is that you've got all this mess and this pressure, and these people are calling, and they're nasty when they call, and they make you feel like a dog, and you're not. You're just a person with a medical bill, whoop-de-doop-de, okay? But the faster you can scrape together $1,000 working like a crazy person, the faster this goes away, and I would want you to do that in 2 or 3 weeks. What do you think, George?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kathy, do you have any other debt?
No.
This is it, the $1,000.
Yes.
And how much money do you have in the bank?
Right now, nothing.
$0.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And what was what happened? What was the medical event?
Well, it was about 2 years ago, so I don't even remember everything. I just arrived to the United States. It was something with my stomach.
Okay. Were you working with that mission organization at that time?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know how the structure is of your organization, and that will matter. So this, in other words, this suggestion may be stupid, is what I'm saying. But it's possible with some mission organizations that you were under their care at that time, and I would submit this to your supervisor, whoever's leading the mission in your area, and say, hey, this happened while I was on the mission field with you guys. Can you help me with it? And just as a one-time, instead of $2,000 this month, I need $3,000. And you don't even have to send it to me. You can send it direct to the hospital and see if they'll help you cover that because you were, you're in there, you're part of their organization, you're part of their family. So I would ask about that if you think that's appropriate. I don't know, but it wouldn't be unusual for a lot of mission organizations to go, oh yeah, we can do that. We'll help you with that. It's not $100,000. It's $1,000. It was a quick trip to the emergency room. You were overcharged for it because we always are when we go to the emergency room, and it's always horrible service, and it's
low expectations.
Yeah, really, and so sorry if you work in the ER. Sorry about that, but I mean, most of us dread the idea of spending 7 hours waiting in there for you.
Well, and it's $90 for an Advil, and so that also frustrates you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
that's a tough situation when
Could
you're a
have run
missionary.
by Walgreens and got that. Yeah, CVS has got a deal on them this week with a coupon. Yeah, anyway, yeah, so I'm trying to help, but I think creating this very, very quickly instead of trying to figure out a way to make the hospital behave, instead let's just pay them. And that's what I'm after.
Get the monkey off your back.
Yeah, because the great news is you're 100% debt-free, free to serve God when you get this monkey off your back. This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. Hey, listen, if you love this show, there's 3 things you can do to help us pay us back, because you get to listen for free. You get the advice for free. And I know some of you think that's what it's worth. I got that. Ha ha. It's funny. Okay. But the truth is that if you want to pay us back, the way you do that is help us. You subscribe to the show. So if you're a YouTuber or a podcaster or whatever, you just hit subscribe. That helps us. It helps spread the word among those platforms that this show is popular. You can share the show. That means, like, if you listen on talk radio, thank you for that. Just tell people the station you listen to. But if you want to click the link and send it out on Spotify or Apple or YouTube or whatever, you can do that. We would love to have you do that. And of course, where you're able to, leave us a 5-star review. 1-star reviews are not helpful. Mom always said, if you didn't have something nice to say, don't say nothing. So there you go.
That was before social media, Dave.
Well, I know, but
times have changed.
Now
they have comment sections dedicated to hate.
I know. I'm aware of that, and that's what I'm trying to prevent. So
that's helpful. I'm learning.
Our question today comes from Blinds.com. They have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Means even if you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your window blinds for free. You got free samples, free shipping. With the new promos they run all the time, you can save even more. Always use the promo code, the best deal anywhere. Click Ramsey.
Today's question.
Blinds.com. Go ahead. Yeah.
Our today's question comes from Janet in Rhode Island. She asks, my husband and I, we're 65 years old, we're traveling nurses, and we have paid housing stipends. We're debt-free. We own a house worth $750,000 in the country on 5 acres of land next to our daughter and her family. We've got $800,000 in retirement accounts and $200,000 in cash. My son just left the ministry and therefore has no savings and owns no real estate. He's renting our house and wants to buy it. He's got 5 kids and it's a 5-bedroom house, which is too much for my husband and I. How do we sell the house to him? We wanted to sell it to him on contract, and he would have to get a loan and pay the estate for what is left if we die. The property's in a trust now, and we only spend the summers in Iowa where the house is located, and we'll retire there someday, but we want a smaller house. We plan on building a small $1,000 square foot house on the property when the prices come down. Love listening to your show.
Very
Signed,
cool.
Janet.
Very cool.
Well,
Janet.
they've done very well.
Yeah.
Got a net worth of almost $2 million, it looks like.
Yep. Well, I would not have payments owed on the house. If you want to keep him from, it's just so convoluted. So what would I do? I don't believe in having debt with anyone, but for sure not with family. So what can we do? We could give him the house. That's possible. Check out the Unified Estate Tax Credit. You use up part of your federal estate tax exemption to avoid gift tax. If you don't do this properly, you're going to get your butt taxed off over $300,000 in taxes. So you need to see a tax advisor, a tax attorney, an estate planning attorney, and get this done properly. It's worth the money you would spend with them, the Unified Estate Tax Credit. So I would give them the house. If you want to and then reduce their, his portion of the inheritance by the value of the house at the time you give it to him. If you want to further control it, it's in a trust. You could give him the house with a lien filed against the house with no payments and no interest, and that lien is forgiven at death.
Oh.
To keep
so
him.
So the lien doesn't have money tied to it.
Yeah, it's just, it guarantees that his portion of the estate goes to this house. In other words, because here's what could happen, okay? Let's say you just give it to him. He could go get a divorce. And not likely. I mean, he's a former pastor. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but it's happened before. And then half of the value of that house would have to go to her, and he went and get a mortgage for $375,000 to pay her out. Because those are marital assets. Maybe not, because it was a gift from mom, but who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened in divorce court that were not just. Justice isn't always served in our court system. So, yeah, I mean, that would kind of keep crap like that from happening. Or he could just kind of lose his mind and forget to be grateful and decide he doesn't want to talk to anybody in the family, and he's already got your money and all that. And then he wants to go run up and borrow a $600,000 mortgage and go buy 6 sports cars and a boat, or whatever. And now he's leveraged up this house that's next door to his sister, your daughter, and next door to you, where you want to build your 1,000 square foot retirement place and all that. So, yeah, I'm probably putting a lien on it.
That's the cleanest way to do
that
it.
Is forgiven. That is forgiven out of the estate, and no payments and no interest until then.
Because he can't afford this thing if they sell it to him for what it's actually worth.
He can't pay payments on this. He can't. Well, we don't think. We don't know what his income is.
Well,
he hasn't got any money.
He's got no savings coming out of ministry. We don't know what his new job is,
right.
But he's not in a place to buy an $800,000 house tomorrow. It sounds like.
Unless he got a job making $1 million a year. I don't know what he's doing.
Would be
but
wonderful.
I would probably just give it to him with a lien on it that's forgiven in the estate plan.
And who's the right team you would have in place?
Estate tax or an estate planning attorney could do every bit of it.
Okay.
And they can help you with a unified estate tax. You can deal with the fact that it's in a trust. You can deal with every bit of it on how to structure it. But I would do something along those lines because of the things I just outlined. Yeah, I don't want payments. I don't want Thanksgiving dinner to taste different because the borrower is slave to the lender, and you don't get away with that. The Christmas dinner, in this case, tastes different, right? But and you need to talk this through with his sibling. Your daughter lives next door, if I understood that right. Is that what she said? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next door to our daughter and her family, and say, okay, you're getting yours on our death, and it will have grown more than his. His will grow as he owns it. Yours is in investments, and it will grow because she's got $800,000 over here.
Yeah.
Right. And so you'll get. He's gotten some of his half, if not most of his half, if not all of his half. And just let her know. Everybody needs to know everything, and it all needs to be done in a business-like methodology in writing, and you need to understand what the downsides of all of it is. What's the worst thing that could happen in some bizarre scenario, and be willing to accept that scenario before you go forward.
And that's part of managing wealth, is stewarding it well and knowing here's what's going to happen to it after I'm gone.
Absolutely. Skip is in St. Petersburg, Florida. Hi, Skip. How are you?
I'm well, Dave, and thank you for taking my call. Merry Christmas to you and all your staff.
Merry Christmas. How can we help?
I have a question for you. My wife is 67. I'm 74. We have been extraordinarily blessed in our personal lives and in my business life. We currently own 2 homes. Our primary residence is in St. Pete with a $350,000 remaining mortgage with an interest rate of 2.8%. I have another small home in North Carolina with a remaining mortgage of $125,000 at 3%. The home in St. Petersburg, Florida is probably worth about $700,000. The home in North Carolina is probably worth close to $4 million. We have $1.5 million in a Roth IRA and another $1 million in a traditional IRA. I'm not sure. I just don't think it's a wise move today to pay those mortgages off, even though I could.
Okay. What's your question?
What do you think I should do?
I think you got to pay them off by the end of the day. You want to know why?
Yes.
Yeah. Neither one of these answers, yours or mine, is going to cause you to be blessed financially or to be bankrupt. You did a great job, Skip. You're going to be okay either way. You're going to sleep different. You're going to walk different. You're going to sit in the chair different when you don't have a mortgage. This is why you've worked so hard to put all this money away so you can have some peace and you can enjoy this money. And if you hate it, go get you another mortgage after you're debt free. But you won't hate it. You won't hate it at all. The borrower's slave to the lender, and when you're free, you're going to be free indeed. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Couple of upcoming hours here on the Ramsey Show, and we want you to sign up to be a part of them. Coming up on December the 14th next week, we'll be doing our annual giving show. So if you have a great story of generosity, you were on the receiving end of generosity or on the giving end of generosity, and it's inspiring to other people because we want to inspire people to outrageous generosity with this show, then you can email us at our email address, ask@RamseySolutions.com. Ask@RamseySolutions.com. Also, we're planning to do a couple of upcoming Entree Leadership theme hours where we're going to be taking calls from small business people with business questions. So any kind of business question that you might have, we can schedule you to be a part of that hour as well. Problem you've got, something you want solved, that kind of thing. Again, for the Entree Leadership theme hour, use the same email address. Just put, instead of giving in the subject line, put Entree Leadership in the subject line, or business hour, or whatever you want to say. Ask@RamseySolutions.com is the email address. Ask@RamseySolutions.com. Michael is in the Netherlands. Hey, Michael, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hello, sir. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I'm guessing that you two are better than you deserve. I am an active duty military member stationed in the Netherlands. My wife, Margaret, is leaving GS employment and moving to a location where she won't be working. We're currently in baby steps 4, 5, and 6, contributing 15% to our 401k. Should we open an IRA in her name or keep contributing to the account that is in my name?
Doesn't matter. If you want to open IRAs in both of your names, you can. In the event of a divorce in any state in the U.S., retirement accounts are joint assets and will be divided. In the event of death, you would leave all of yours to her. She would leave all of hers to you. So it doesn't really matter whose name it's in.
Perfect. Well, I really appreciate your time and wishing you all a Merry Christmas.
You too. Thanks for your service, Michael.
Thank you.
So that's an interesting thing to think about, George. So really what you keep in mind, we say at baby step 4, 15% of your income going into retirement, right?
Yes. And the funny question we get is it 15% of my income or her income or both? I'm going, well, 15% of both of your incomes individually is 15% collectively.
Yeah. That's how that math thing works.
That's a baseline question just answered right there for you.
That still comes up a lot. But so the thing is, if her 401k has great options, a great match, and is Roth, and you don't have a 401k, well, let's load hers up and just name you as the beneficiary in the event of her death. And if the marriage goes sideways, you'll split her 401k. That's how it works. So, it's not a rights issue or ladies aren't protected because all the assets are in the husband's name. It's not the case. It just doesn't work that way. Or vice versa, for that matter. The gentleman's not protected because it's all in his wife's name. That's not the way it works. A little tough to lie about retirement accounts in the court system. So that's what you're facing. So, yeah, you can put the Roth IRAs in both or either names, and sometimes you just do it for the fun of it. I mean, like, we've got a mutual fund. Sharon's dad, many moons ago, sent us a check. And sent each of his kids a check. Not a huge one, but more than we were used to seeing. And she's like, I want to put that in a mutual fund. Well, we did. And it's got her name on it. And it's got my name on it. But it's Sharon's mutual fund. If you want to ask her, she'll say it's her mutual fund. She'll tell you. And so my point is, it's kind of humorous in that sense. But, and that was 20 plus years ago. So that's definitely a marital asset now with that amount of time having passed. And certainly the growth on it is well exceeded the actual original amount going in. But anyway, all that to say, if that was a Roth IRA and it was in her name in mutual funds, fine. I'm the beneficiary in the event of death. We have the same co-beneficiaries if both of us die, secondary beneficiaries. And again, if there's a marriage problem and there's a split, then you should just split them all up. Just add them all up and split it down the middle. And so the point being is do what accounts are the best, which ones are going to give you the best towards your goal of retiring wealthy, and regardless of whose name they go in.
So match beats Roth beats traditional. So if you've got a match with one of the spouses, let's go with that, and let's fill up the Roth accounts, and then move to the traditional as a last one. It's good.
Absolutely. Madeline's in Detroit. Hi, Madeline. How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
Yeah, so I was calling because me and my husband recently just read Baby Steps basically last month. With that, we're now to step 2. And in doing that, my husband had a Tesla Leaf, and getting out of that cost us about $9,000. But however, that's gone. Now we're working towards our debt of student loans. We have about $33,000 with that. However, with that, now we're down to one car. The car was given by my family to me just to use in the meantime. So we have a car. There's an indefinite time on it, but just wondering at what point should we look to either buy a used, cheaper car for a second car, if that's after we pay off the student loans, which we're estimating about 5 months, or if that's before we start building up the emergency fund. We're just trying to get answers on when the best time would be to look at that.
And you need a second car today? It sounds like you guys are saying you can get by for a while without it.
Is the loaner the second car or your main car?
The loaner, so we got rid of the lease. The Tesla's gone. We're just down to the one car that's a loan from my family, basically.
Okay, so you don't even own a car?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
What's your
income?
Not
anymore, now that we got rid of it.
I know.
Annually, we're at $220,000.
And so this loan to you, is it okay if you keep it 3 months?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna keep driving that one then. Okay. What would I do if I were in your shoes, making $200,000 freaking dollars a year, and you just got rid of a Tesla that you're $9,000 in the hole on? Crap. If you would be willing to drive as your second car a $5,000 or $6,000 car, I would go buy one now.
No way.
If you're unwilling to drive that and you want to wait a little bit and get a $20,000 car that you pay cash for, then just drive the loaner. But I'd keep the loaner and go get a $6,000 car. If I made $200,000 a year, I'd be a 2-car family with a $6,000 paid for car and a loaner. That's just getting out of the ditch. No pun intended.
Do you guys have savings right now?
Yeah, so we have, once this Tesla is paid off, which will go out Friday, we'll be down to about $24,000. So with that, going to put that towards the debt, of course. We're just waiting for, of course, the Tesla final payment to come through that we're going to get rid of.
So really, you guys could be debt-free next month.
No, they got $30,000 in student loan debt.
But they have $24,000 in cash. So you're saying you're going to apply that towards the $33,000 of student loans?
Minus $9,000.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not out of the hole yet with the Tesla.
You got to pay the 9 out of that 24, right?
Nope, that's the 9s out of the 24 already. So we could be completely out of debt within 2 months if we take all the savings, which we're gonna towards it.
Why does it take 2 months to come up with $6,000 if you make $200 a year?
So we have that 6,000, like we have that going out of our savings. Like we have it budgeted to have $6,000 at the end of this month to go towards debt.
Which means you'll be debt free. 24 and 6 is 30. You have 30,000
Yeah, but then we still have $4,000 left, 33,000.
33. Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah,
so it's semantics. Either way, you're debt free in a month or two.
You're debt free in a month and a half, 2 months, and you're saving for a car. I would just drive that car. If you want to go get a $6,000 car and drag it out one more month, that's fine too. But you're going to turn around and trade that car in 3 months anyway. So it's just a get by car if you do that. Any of that is fine. Don't go buy a $25,000 car though until you pay cash for it and you're debt free.
Drive like no one else.
This is the Ramsey Show. All right, guys, put down the Christmas cookies and get to RamseySolutions.com right now. You'll save calories. You got 3 days left to get everything in by Christmas with free shipping on orders over $40. Last-minute shopping doesn't mean you have to settle for less meaningful gifts. The 2023 Ramsey Gold Planner is still here. I cannot believe those are not gone. They're almost sold out. I keep thinking they're going to be gone any minute. They may be gone, but this copy
as soon as you said it.
Yeah, so, well, the copy might be old. You never know. But just in time, we've also got the Christmas version, the limited edition Rachel Cruz wallet in red for the holidays. Full grain, hand-sewn wallet with a built-in cash envelope system now comes in a beautiful shade of red just for Christmas. Oh, oh, oh. New Ramsey Apparel, T-shirts, crew necks, and hoodies with some of your favorite Ramsey sayings like better than I deserve.
Cash is king.
Live like no one else.
Yep.
Yeah, all that
I've got one of those.
And Cash is king. That's a cool vibe. That one has. Yeah. RamseySolutions.com. Get your gifts. And remember, free shipping from now. You can get it in time for Christmas still on orders over $40. RamseySolutions.com. Bonnie is with us. Bonnie is in Rockford, Illinois. Hi, Bonnie. How are you?
Better than I deserve, Dave.
Good. How can I help?
My employer is moving our 401k from a local financial service to Fidelity. My financial planner suggests that now is the time that I could move that money over into a self-directed IRA. I'd have many more investment options that way. So I just wanted your opinion.
Not a self-directed, but just an IRA in your name.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, there's a difference. You don't want a self-directed. You don't need that. But just do it rollover because with the change of companies, you're allowed to roll your 401k over. Yeah, I would do that. Is your 401k currently a Roth?
It's probably mostly 401k. I did change.
No, I mean you can have a 401k Roth.
The company only offered 401k in the beginning, and then after say 10 years or so in it, 20 years in it, they started offering Roth.
And you switched to Roth, so you got some of each.
And then I also have profit sharing.
No, I mean so you have some Roth and some traditional in your current 401k that you're going to roll.
Yep, and also profit sharing.
Okay. Do you have a mortgage?
Yes.
Okay. Then you just roll your Roth portion to Roth, and you roll your traditional portion to traditional to create no taxes in the rollover.
Okay.
So you'd have two IRAs.
Okay. So still keep them separate.
Yes. Because if you move the traditional to Roth, when you do the rollover, you're going to be taxed on all of that. And you don't need to pay taxes while you still got a mortgage.
Okay. And then there's also a profit sharing in there that they're going to let us manage now.
Manage or leave with? You can roll it too?
I'll double check, but that was the new thing, was going with Fidelity. We'll be able to manage our profit sharing portion as well.
Manage might be that you choose the Fidelity fund to put it in.
Yeah, that we could choose the fund.
Yeah, but not be able to move it to your SmartVestor Pro.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what they mean by manage. If they mean by manage, see, with your old 401k, what they mean by manage is you're taking it. It's no longer going to be anywhere near them. You're going to have it in an IRA. It's gone. You totally are managing it. Follow me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and if they mean that with the profit sharing, that's different than, you get to select your funds with Fidelity, and we'll call that you managing it. Neither one are super bad because Fidelity's got some good funds. You can pick that for your profit sharing portion. But I'd roll the other two portions. I agree with your financial planner, but roll the Roth portion to a Roth, the traditional to a traditional, so you don't have any taxes.
Now, the profit sharing, Dave, I haven't heard of one that is part of retirement.
It's not.
So is this just a cash account?
Probably.
Okay.
It's probably, it could be in a tax-protected thing, depending on how they've structured it, but most likely it's not. Most likely it's just a simple account that's over there that they have to wait. You have to wait till you're vested before you would own that account in the event of you leaving that company.
Makes sense.
All right, San Antonio is next. Becky's on the line. Hi, Becky. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
I would like to quit my job, and I'm trying to decide if it's a good idea at this point.
Can you eat if you quit your job?
Yes, we can definitely eat. We just still have one kid to get through college,
okay.
But I'd like to have more time to take care of aging parents and spend more time with kids, get ready for a wedding that's coming up, and so.
What do you make?
I make $125.
What's he make?
$250.
Okay. Well, I think you can struggle through on $250.
I think we can, but it's going to be a different life for sure than we're used to.
Yeah, you got to pay attention. But guess what? You had to pay attention all along, hadn't you?
Yeah, we have.
Because y'all didn't start out making $375 household.
No. And I guess my biggest concern is we have retirement paid for. It's just for the next, 5 to 8 years before we get to retirement. If you can squeak by on $250. One more college. Yes. Well, okay, the way you say it sounds
It's
different.
rhetorical. Now, Becky, do you guys have any debt?
That's one of the big. We do still have a mortgage. And that was kind of my question. Like, do I tough it out till we get through paying off the mortgage?
How much is the mortgage?
I'd rather. Right now, we have about $250 left on it.
Okay. Well, tough it out would be what? 2 years?
Yeah, if we cut back significantly, which we can.
Well, honey,
we've already started kind of doing that.
Stop. We're getting ready to cut $125,000 out of your budget when you quit. So you ought to be able to throw $125,000 at the mortgage. Times 2 is $250.
Yes.
So cut back significantly is what you're getting ready to do.
Right. Yeah. It's easier to cut back when there's really nothing there versus when it's coming in and there's, you understand.
I do.
Yes.
I do. I'm just messing with your math to make sure you're doing your math.
Well, your homework is to go look at your budget and say, if we cut out this income entirely, what would have to change? And go through from the top priority, which is your four walls, food, utilities, housing, transportation, and go down the list. And you might need to cut some of the luxuries you've been enjoying the last few years. But you might not.
I think when you do that exercise with your husband, the two of you sitting, I think you actually do the math. It makes you step back from the emotions. What you're probably going to discover is that you're going to pay off the mortgage 3 or 4 years slower if you quit.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're what, 56? How old are you?
No, I'm 51.
Oh, okay. So by the time you're 56, how old is he?
He's 50.
Okay. Well, let's lay out a game plan to pay off the mortgage. If you work, that's 2 years. If you quit work, 4 years.
Yeah.
Lay out a game plan, or 5 years, or 6 years. I don't care. But lay out a game plan and look at the math and go, that's what, then we got to, that means that that vacation we're not doing. That purchase over there
Right.
that we were, we're going to have to actually pay a little more attention to the clothing and the eating out because it's freaking gotten out of control or whatever it is. Okay. But to George's point, look at the actual budget and say, this is how we're going to live if I quit. But can you afford to quit? Yes. Are you willing to make the trade-offs that you quitting is going to require? Probably. When you look at them, you probably are.
Yeah,
I think you're going to quit.
Yeah.
And worst case, you can go get another job, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'd love to do is do something that just isn't as demanding. For
I
sure.
love it.
Yeah, well, there's that.
It's not irreversible.
I mean,
That's
you
good
could
news.
take like a year off, and then if you wanted to say, I'm going to go do this cool thing and kick butt for 18 months and finish this mortgage off, and then quit again. You're just a quitter. I like it. I think it's a great plan. But what you want to do is you want to look at the hardcore reality with the math and say, this is the trade-off. And I think you can do it. And I think you probably should do it based on just your conversation. I think you've been very responsible. You all have done a wonderful job with your money. You make a lot of money. You put yourself in this position. Congratulations. Touchdown. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. We help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. It is a free call here, and some say the advice is worth what you pay for it. 888-825-5225. Vermont is on the line. Janet is with us. Hi, Janet. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
I'm calling about a previous episode I need a little clarification on. There was a woman that had called in and child had basically disowned them, and they were conflicted on the will and taking them out. And you mentioned it as kind of a grieving period for the loss that a parent feels, which makes sense. But you've also in the past said if you're not leaving a child something in the will, then you need to be the bigger person and say, you know what, you're out. How do you do that if they're not speaking to you?
I wouldn't do that if they're not speaking to you. When I've said that in the past, it wasn't a universal blanket every single time you tell someone. But if someone is misbehaving and you're communicating with them, or they're not, behaving in a way that is honoring to you, your values, your family, and so you're not going to leave them in. An example would be, you got a kid doing heroin, but you're trying to love them and you're still talking to them. I'm going to tell them, I'm not leaving you money for heroin because I love you.
Right.
And you need to know that you're not going to be in there. But a kid who won't speak to me, you don't need to, a person who won't speak to you, you don't need to let them know that they're not in the will. Like, in other words, Janet, I'll talk to you, so I'm not, but prior to today, I've never talked to you, and if I wasn't in your will, you didn't need to let me know.
Right. Right. And that makes sense. But to not leave a bunch of stress for the other child that's involved, would you then suggest leave like a letter with the lawyer?
Yeah, I'd leave a letter with them and just go, if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at me, but you decided you didn't want a relationship with me, which means you don't want a relationship with anything to do with me. And so I hate that, and I'm sad about that, and I've been sad about that since it happened. But as a result, we didn't feel like it was proper to leave money to someone that hates us.
Okay, that's fair. One more thing, George told me to call in, so I wanted to say thanks to him for that. And he does not have a punchable face.
Thank you. That was the other day.
A punchable
face. I said that on air when we were commenting about my viral TikTok. And I said, I think they just hate me. I've got a punchable face. They come for me in the comments. And so she's just defending me.
Because I never said you had a punchable face.
Dave would never.
No, but I'm just saying, I was telling him that
I
that's
might have
them
punched
projecting
you,
what they
but I
don't.
wouldn't have said anything about it.
Well, and I was just telling him that that's them projecting what they don't like about themselves with him.
Beautifully said.
You're exactly right.
Janet understands the
Welcome
trolls.
to TikTok commenters. You've got the psychology down, Janet. So yeah, it's an interesting nuance and a good question. Thank you for calling in. And the beautiful part about the holidays is we get to see and deal with family. The horrible part about the holidays is we get to see and deal with family. So in some cases, and so that brings up a lot of these estate questions, and I think it's a good thing to talk about. If someone else says it out loud, it doesn't sound as crazy as maybe, or as shame-inducing as it sounds in your head. So, the way we stand on things around here, you and I have talked about this many times, George, and it is that you are under no moral, legal, or ethical obligation to leave anyone your money. Period. That's a good one to start with, okay? And you are under you have no moral entitlement to mama's money.
That is the underlying issue.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of what are the kids going to think, and is it going to cause resentment, and will the relationships be hurt? And, hopefully you don't raise entitled kids, which luckily you didn't, Dave. And
but I mean, here's the thing.
Well.
Like the lady that called the other day, her daughter will no longer speak to her over an argument they had during COVID that she wanted to come visit and give her a hug. And she said, not in my house. You can't touch us. You're coming to kill us. And so, crazy COVID people, right? And so they refused to let the mom and dad come and refused to let them see their grandkids. And then it escalated further and just don't even call. We don't want to talk to you. And it's been since COVID. They haven't spoken. And so she said, do I leave her in the will? And I said, I wouldn't. No, she has no rights and you have no obligation. And it's not about you hitting back. I'm angry at you, so I'm taking you out of the will. It's not about manipulating, because we're not really going to call her and discuss it with her. We're not trying to manipulate anybody. It's a matter of, God gave me this batch of money to manage. I manage it for him. So what does the owner require of this? It requires, first and foremost, that I leave it to someone else who will also manage it for him.
That's wisdom.
First and foremost. So if you decide, like we're Christians at our house, and so as for me and my house, that's who we are. And so if you decide that you're going to worship a tree or whatever it is you're going to worship, and not worship God, then I represent him. I manage stuff for him. And why would I leave a tree worshiper God's stuff? I'm not going to do that. I don't dislike trees, but I don't worship them. And so,
good caveat. Never thought I'd hear that sentence on the show.
Yeah, there you go.
But here we are.
You have to have lots of clarity for the tree people. But the point is, it would be inconsistent with your values and what your beliefs are. And so don't be obligated by bloodline only to do something that otherwise sounds crazy, because it is crazy. That's why it sounds crazy. It's something to remember. If something sounds crazy, it's because it's crazy.
It is.
It's like the old thing, a guy used to work here would say, if you're dating a girl and she says, I'm not crazy, that's a sure sign that she's crazy, right?
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag right there.
Ooh.
That one's crazy. And so if something sounds crazy, it's usually because it is. If it feels crazy, it's usually because it is. If it feels weird and awkward and not right, it's usually because it's weird, awkward, and not right.
Listen to that voice.
Yeah. And so, I don't want to leave money to a kid who won't speak to me because she's pissed about me wanting to give her a hug during COVID. Well, that's perfectly natural, but I feel bad. Why do you feel bad? I don't feel bad at all. I don't leave strangers and people that don't talk to me and people that are mad at me. I don't pick out trolls on Twitter and leave them money.
That would be a strange
people
thing.
People that hate me. Why would I? People that don't want to talk to me. People that are mad at me. People that dislike me. People that disrespect me. Why would I leave them money? That doesn't make any sense at all. And so give yourself a pass. Give yourself a get-out-of-jail-free card on the guilt, shame, and
Release
crap that goes with inheritance during the holidays. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel Ramsey Personality is our co-host today. Thomas is with us in New York City. Welcome to The Ramsey Show. Hey, Thomas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too, Dave. Thank you so much. Hello, gentlemen. How you doing?
Great, man. What's up?
Nothing. Quick question. First of all, I just wanted to preface it by saying, Dave, I've been listening to your show for a while, and I really want to thank you for all your advice. I used to be one of those people that really just thought about, well, yeah, I can afford that payment. I can afford that payment, and just all of a sudden, I'm just under this massive amount of debt. And after listening to you for a couple of months, I've just basically restructured the way I do everything. I'm just, stop buying stuff. I'm getting my debts paid off. Within a couple of years, I plan to be completely debt free. So, thank you very much for your advice. My question is, I've heard you talk a little bit about whole life policies. Now, my wife and I right now have whole life policies. They're good until we're 125 years old. We have about $1.5 million in coverage. Costs us about $680 a month to have that. And I've heard you sort of say that you didn't think they were a great investment, but I haven't really heard you get into any details about why you think that is. So I was wondering if you could just talk about that a little bit, and maybe I'm missing something, and if I am, I'm sure you'll hit the point.
Okay, sure. Well, the overarching main companies that sell whole life, the numbers break down about like this. Per $100 that you pay in premium, you can buy the same amount of term life insurance, 15-year level term, 20-year level term, for about $5.
Got it.
It's roughly 20x. Okay. And for the insurance, obviously whole life, though, has another component to it that term does not have. You're obviously aware of that. You spend a lot of money on this. And that other component is a cash value buildup. Now, the cash value buildup is the other $95 out of $100 approximately. Could be $91, could be whatever, but it's somewhere in that range. Nationally, across the top 10 whole life insurance companies, it is $95. Okay, so $95 going into cash value, $5 purchases the same amount of insurance, life insurance. Now, so then the gripe that those of us have that hate whole life insurance, and it's not a mild dislike, I hate it, is that what happens to that $95. And in cash value, what you will do, and you're well past this, but if you went back and looked at your policy pages, your cash value buildup for the first 3 years, your savings buildup is zero. 100% of the $95 goes to fees. It's front-loaded as an investment, which in and of itself is not necessarily evil. It's just frowned upon in the financial planning world by and large. The second thing is that once you do start building it nationally, and again, don't know your policy, but it's not going to be substantially different, the average rate of return on the $95, if you look at your actual cash value buildup, including the 3 years of zeros on the front end, it ends up being an average of about 1.2%. Let's be generous and say it's double that. 2.4%. Still not a good long-term investment. If I could get 2.4 on my money market, I'd be dancing a jig, but not on my long-term investments. My long-term investments need to be north of 10% to be beating inflation and taxes. And so it's a horrible rate of return on a long-term investment. And those two things are bad, but the stake in the heart of whole life, and the reason the entire financial planning community that are not in the whole life insurance business have abandoned whole life. No one sells this but whole life insurance agents. No one sells it anymore. No traditional financial planner, no SmartVestor Pro, no one in the financial world sells it. The only people that sell it are whole life agents. They've gone away from it. And this is the reason. Once you've paid the extra $95 to build up, and on your $680 premium, you said you had a $1.something million policy?
I've got $1 million. My wife has $500,000, and that's our combined premium is $680.
Okay, so $1.5 million. If you die, your wife, the beneficiary, I assume, would get $1 million. That's her face.
My daughter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah, whoever the beneficiary is going to get the $1 million.
Right.
That's what they're going to get. That's all.
Right.
If you have a cash value of $200,000 at 2.4% that you put $95 per 100 in to get to $200,000 or to get to $100,000, none of that. So you have a savings account that for the first 3 years you put in there gives you nothing. After that, it pays 2.4%, and when you die, they keep your money.
All right.
Which makes it absolutely horrendous. So you're much better off. And many, many decades ago, the financial planning community, by and large, started moving towards buying term life insurance for the $5 per 100 and doing almost anything else with the 95, but over in the investment world, away from the insurance world. You put it in a freaking fruit jar. At least it's there when you die.
Okay, so you said would your advice be to just terminate those policies and just do what you suggested, purchase relatively inexpensive term life policies and then put additional money? I mean, I do have investments. I mean, I could just up those investments. I invest into mostly directly in the S&P 500. I've got a 401k.
Exactly.
So would you?
But get the term life in place first.
Yeah, exactly. Get your term in place first. Never cancel life insurance until you've got new in place, because we don't want you to have the proverbial milk truck or bus in the middle.
Okay.
Between the two.
So just look at the money I've been spending over the last 5-10 years. Just write that off and just start.
It'll make you want to throw up.
Yeah.
But yes.
But that's the case. Now you will get your cash value out by canceling the policies, whatever it is.
Okay.
It doesn't die then. But you never get both.
I understand.
You never get the insurance and the investments, and you're always paying for both. And that's the consumer advocate like us, our reason for hating on these things and just saying they're absolutely horrible. It's an antiquated product from the 40s and 50s that built large buildings in the skylines of almost every city, and that everyone now has pretty well moved away from, except the companies with their name on that kind of stuff. So anyway, all of that to say. Now, one last part of this discussion that's worth having, because you're obviously doing well financially, and you're doing really good with your analytics on this. The last thing that happens is the irony is that we really don't necessarily need life insurance for our whole life.
Right.
So if you've got $2 or $3 million in your investments and zero debt, and the kids are grown and gone, and you die, I think your wife will be okay.
I was looking at it as like, I can die broke if I want to, and at least they'll have this much. But you're right in the sense that I won't be able to spend all my money.
Yeah, but if you put the $95 in a fruit jar, you wouldn't die broke.
Right, exactly, right. Okay, I'm doing it. Thank you, Dave.
Hey, man, thanks for the call.
Wow. Well,
great discussion.
I thought whole life was going to be like timeshares where it just kind of dies over time, but TikTok has caused a renaissance of whole life agents to start their financial planning influencer careers.
You're kidding.
And so now
they're like whole life guys that are trying to make it cool again.
Well, they're peddling it with new
terms. Make whole life cool again.
You've seen this index universal life, infinite banking. Dave,
infinite banking
this is
back?
The hack wealthy people don't want you to know.
Infinite banking is back? That was a scam from like 20 years ago.
Well, Gen Z is eating it up on the TikTok, Dave.
Oh, man.
It's caused this resurgence.
Infinite banking is code for whole life that sucks bad. That's what it is. So the infinite banking is you put so much in the whole life that it starts to pay its own
premium. And you
premium.
borrow money from yourself, Dave. It's genius.
You borrow money from yourself, and guess what? There's no taxes on borrowed money. Well, no kidding, doofus. There's never been taxes on borrowed money.
Life
if you just
hack.
run over there and get you a credit card debt,
oh my gosh.
There's no taxes on the debt, you dumb butt. Of course there's not. Why is
my goodness.
I can't believe infinite banking is being made cool on TikTok.
Just ignore all of that.
This Tic Tac thing is just driving me nuts.
Now it's Tic Tac, according to Dave. Well,
I gave
here's
up.
the takeaway. Get term life, 10 to 12 times your annual income, 15 to 20 year policy.
What? If infinite
with our
banking can make it on Tic Tac, I bet I could make it on Tic Tac.
For sure you can. This clip is the start right here.
Oh, man. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel Ramsey personality is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America, in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Brittany is with us. Hi, Brittany. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Doing better than I deserve is well deserved for this moment right now.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas. Good to have you. Where do you live?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Well, welcome to Nashville. How much debt have you paid off, Brittany?
$202,000.
Whoa! How long did that take?
3 years. The first 2 years, I had a combination of my plan plus yours, but that didn't work. So when I stuck to your plan, it was 3 years.
Okay, it works for me. All right, and your range of income during that 3 years?
Started at $70,000, ended at just under $200,000 at $197,000.
Wow.
Nice jump. What do you do for a living?
I'm a registered nurse.
Okay, so you just took better jobs, or you worked all the time, or what?
So I was a full-time nurse starting out making $70,000, and then I quickly realized that I could almost double my pay if I started doing local contracts, and then I realized that I could do more than that if I took regular travel nursing contracts.
Oh, wow. So you've been on the road.
I have, yes.
And some of this during COVID.
Yes.
Was that scary?
It was very scary. Well, a big reward, but very scary at times, for sure.
Big reward, but felt like a lot of risk.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Turned out not to be, but or not that bad, but because obviously you're doing well. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. All right, what kind of debt was this $202,000?
So I had about $40,000 in credit cards, over probably 8 or 9 of them.
Mm-hmm.
About $36,000 in two car loans. $86,000 in student loan debt, and about $36,000 in back taxes.
So why does one person need 2 cars?
Well, this person had a teenage daughter, so.
Oh, okay. It's not one person. All right.
Yes.
That makes sense. All right. And, of course, she needed a car with a payment on it. All right. So you got all paid off.
Yes.
You're incredible. Well done.
Thank you.
How's it feel to be free?
It feels amazing. I don't know that it has sunk in completely, but I'm excited to start the next journey of my life for sure.
So what kind of got you on this Ramsey way and Ramsey journey? Because you were living La Vida Loca. I mean, $40,000. It was like, let's get some more debt. Woo! What was this turning point for you?
Well, I originally started listening to the podcast or YouTube videos in nursing school. However, when I actually started working, the lifestyle creep, I was like, oh, I work hard. I want this. I want that. I want to do this. But ultimately, taking care of my daughter, being a single mother, I knew that I needed to change the course for our life. And so I became motivated after that point and just kind of found the tools and necessary resources to make that happen.
So you're doing Ramsey-ish, and you said 3 years ago you went full Ramsey.
In 2019, I went full, yes.
You went full. What was the switch flip on that? Why'd you say, okay, I'm done screwing around with this, I'm going to get it?
I got tired of giving my whole paycheck to other folks.
And you feel like you're getting progress?
No, I felt like I was stuck literally going back and forth every month. I had a budget, but then I would veer off my budget. And every time I went to look at it, I'm like, I'm literally going nowhere. That's how it felt.
If you guys on radio could see her, you could see her face. She made the I was sick and tired of being sick and tired face. Mm-hmm. You just did that. I just saw it. You just reached, done. Done. I am done with me being dumb. That's a face you made. I love it. That's when you know you changed your life. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done. And you brought mom and dad over here to cheer you on, right?
I did.
Were they big cheerleaders while you were fighting all this?
Oh, absolutely. I talked to them about every step of the way. They encouraged me every step of the way, so I had a really good support.
How you do travel nursing with a teenage daughter?
I would fly away to go and work. And then after I finished my shifts, I would fly back home to be with her for the rest of the week. So that was my sacrifice, my trade-off.
Okay, and so she stayed with family or friends?
She stayed with family, yes.
Okay, wow.
Yes. Thank you, family.
Wow, for real. Big time support that allowed you to triple, quadruple your income.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
That's incredible. So there's a lot of sacrifices you made here, clearly. What was the one that was the toughest for you, but had the biggest payoff?
Saying no to friends and family members because I'm a giver at heart, and I had to learn how to say no. And now I love it. It's like, no. No. I'm sorry, still no.
You got real good at it.
You got your no muscle built. I like it.
I know how to say it in Spanish, too.
Nope.
Ooh.
It's no. Yeah.
You know what? In multiple languages.
Yes.
Nope.
Yes.
I like it.
So that was it, saying no.
And you do really kind of get used to it, because when you first do it, you're like, oh, they're gonna hate me, oh, everything's gonna, and you're like, well, nothing happened, I'm gonna say it again.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. And then I'm gonna say it again. Wow. And then I'm gonna say it to myself. Wow. Because if you say no long enough, you can say yes. If you live like no one else, later you can live and give like no one else.
Absolutely.
You are a rock star. You're amazing. Powerful lady.
Have you relaxed yet? Are you still travel nursing?
I'm not travel nursing anymore. I've been back home.
Okay.
Yep, so this is my daughter's senior year in school, so I'm at home.
And you get to be there for it.
And you got yourself in a position that you can do that now.
The program is heaven sent. It's perfect time, and it's sacrifice. Senior year, I get to celebrate it with her, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Amen.
And now you get to keep that hard-earned paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
That feels amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. Well done. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
There's so many. The key.
Well, one or two.
One or two. Sticking to the plan. You're going to think that you're smart enough to beat it and figure out backdoor ways. It's not. You're going to go in circles when you realize it, and time will pass by, and then you're going to revert back to the original plan, which works from the beginning. So stick to the plan.
Amen. Amen. That's good. That's good. And in a world where there's so much information coming at you and everybody's got an opinion, and a lot of broke people telling you what to do with your money, in a world like that, to just find something and say, I'm going to turn off all the noise. I got my blinders on. I'm doing this.
Yes.
Period. That's the hard. But there's a sense of peace even in the middle of all the hard work.
Yes.
Because you just have one thing to do. You got one job. You got one job. That's all we're doing. And then you look up, and 3 years in, you got $202,000 paid off. You're amazing. You're amazing. And you know what's really amazing? That daughter of yours has watched you. She knows her mom wears a Superwoman cape, has a Wonder Woman shield. And so you set a standard for her. She's going to be like, don't tell me I can't do it. I watch my mama. Yeah. My mama can do anything. And you told her by your actions she can do anything. You built confidence into her that you don't even know about yet. You'll see it later in your grandbabies. Well done. Very well done. You changed your family tree. Yeah. And I know your mom and dad are proud. They're over there nodding their head right now while I was saying all that. So that's exactly right.
Wow.
Good stuff. Well done. Hey, we got the Live and Give bundle for you so that you can enjoy some of it and give some of it. The Total Money Makeover book for you to give away and get somebody started on this and tell them stick to the dadgum plan. And the Baby Steps Millionaires book, our latest #1 bestseller, all about how to become a millionaire. And that's your next step, by the way. And then the Financial Peace University 1-year membership as well as in the Live and Give bundle. All of that's our gift to you to say thanks for coming over from Arkansas to do your debt-free scream in person and for hanging out with us. Again, we are so proud of you. You're an amazing woman. Very, very, very well done.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Brittany from Little Rock, $202,000 paid off in 3 years, making $70 to $200. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I am debt free.
Yeah! Woo! That's how that's done.
If that doesn't put a pep in your step, you got to check your heart rate. Make sure it's still beating in there.
Man, a single mom fight like that warrior girl, that girl's a warrior.
Nothing's going to stop her
She
in
is
life.
a warrior. I mean, there is nothing. You get that kind of spirit going. I saw it. You could see her face change right there when she was talking.
I thought she might run through the glass.
I'm so done. You know that's when you know it's ready. That's when you know you're ready. You get a little bit of Britney juice. That's what you need right there.
No one has an excuse now.
No, you
That
just
is
do the
incredible.
plan. Shut up and do the plan. This is the Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, 1 Peter 3:10 and 11. Whoever wants to embrace life and see the day fill up with good, here's what you do. Say nothing evil or hurtful. Snub evil and cultivate good. Run after peace for all you're worth. Faith Hill said, it's not complicated to embrace life. You just have to make the choice. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George Camel is my co-host today. Ramsey fans, we got something new for you. Our new Ramsey Apparel designed with your classic favorite Ramsey sayings to remind you why you chose to be weird. We've got t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, things that say on the that we say on the show, like better than I deserve, live like no one else, cash is king. Quantities are limited, but you can still get them by Christmas if you go to RamseySolutions.com. Pick one out for yourself. And remember, if you're buying anything representing your gazelle intensity or anything else, any of our books, all this stuff, the books are on sale for $10, all kinds of deals right now at RamseySolutions.com. If you get an order over $40, it's free shipping right now. Yeah, and you can still get it by Christmas. RamseySolutions.com. Up next is going to be Mike in Fort Worth. Hey, Mike, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, George. Hey, Dave. Thank you both for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
Okay, so I've found myself in a situation this year, unfortunately. Last year in 2021, I lost my mom to cancer, and this year my dad passed away unexpectedly.
My goodness.
As a result of a surgery he had. And so it's left me in a position, obviously, where I'm going to be inheriting quite a bit of property and money along with my brother.
I'm sorry.
And thank you. And so I've never been in a position where I've had this much money. Honestly, I was working on the baby steps myself. I was working baby step number 2. But now with inheriting all this, obviously I'm going to be way past that. And I honestly have no idea how to handle this kind of money or what to do with anything.
Wow. How much does your portion represent in total dollars?
Once everything's sold, my lawyer recommended we end up just selling everything he had and liquidating and splitting everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably going to end up between $800,000 and $850,000.
What do you make a year now?
I make about 42.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm a flight attendant with an airline.
How old are you?
30.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a couple things come to mind. Number one, it is wisdom to know that you are getting ready to drive something with more horsepower than you're used to driving, and it scares you a little bit. For that not to scare you would make you immature, rash, and unwise. So it's good that there's a reasonable amount of fear, because it makes you understand that this is important, and it's a weight that needs to be carried. It's not a party to be thrown, right?
Yeah.
So that's good. I don't want you freaked out. I don't want you overwhelmed. But if you hand somebody the keys to a super expensive, super powerful car, and they are not that great a driver, they've been driving a little piece of junk, then all of a sudden they feel like, oh my God, I got to be careful. And that's wisdom. So good for you. Good on you for that. Now, having said that, then what we're saying is you need some driving skills. And you probably need some people to ride in the passenger seat and point out your driving skills. And that would be your team. I want you to build a wealth team around you. You don't have to pay them much or anything for that matter, but you need to contact them and meet with them and have them have a relationship built so that when you do need them, you can pay them if you have to for their services. So you need an estate planning attorney. Maybe the one that did your dad's will. It wouldn't be bad. You need to develop a will because you have $800,000 and you need to have a will for that, okay? You need an investment advisor, someone with the heart of a teacher that will sit down with you and start to explain how basic investing, calm, steady, not Bitcoin, just good, steady, slow, boring investments work, how people build 800 into 1.6 million, double it in 7 years. It doesn't take that much to do that. And that's one of our SmartVestor pros. You can get in touch with them at RamseySolutions.com and select one of those. You need a good CPA, somebody to help you with taxes. Again, you can get in touch with one of our endorsed local providers. It sounded like there's real estate you all are going to be liquidating, so you need a good real estate agent in this. It sounds like you're going to turn it into money and sell the houses. That's fine, but you need a good real estate agent, not just anybody. In a market like this, you got to have a pro on your side, right? And again, our endorsed local providers, I'm recommending them. I'm not making money off of sending you to these people. These are people that we trust, and they pay us. Okay, so they're going to pay me whether you go or not, by the way. So you need a good insurance professional that is an independent insurance agent. They don't work for just one company. So it's not your State Farm agent with quarterbacks on their commercial. And it doesn't have a lizard involved with a British accent. Okay? This is an agent that represents a bazillion different companies on all kinds of different lines of insurance, and they can tell you what types of insurance you need to put in place so that, because now you have a target on your butt. If you're in a car wreck, somebody thinks they're going to be a millionaire and take your money. So you need increased liability, and you need an umbrella policy and some stuff like that. And it's not that expensive, but you've just got to begin to learn about these things. Not panic, not be stressed out. You're not going to get a master's degree in finance. We're putting people around us that are professionals, and we're going to have a little board here, Mike's board of directors, that each of these people have specialized knowledge in these different areas. And the important thing is this. Every one of the industries I just mentioned have a section of them that are arrogant jerks that want to just tell you what to do. You do not want a salesman that's an arrogant jerk. You want a teacher that is in the insurance business, a teacher that does estate planning. And so if your daddy's old lawyer kind of talks down to you and acts like you're dumb and you just need to do whatever he says, fire his butt. Get somebody that works for you, and part of their job is to help you understand why you should do what they're saying, not just do what they're saying. Is that starting to feel like you got some peace listening to all that, George?
Well, Mike, the beautiful thing is that this catapults you through the baby steps, and the scary thing is this catapults you through the baby steps. And so as you get this cash, you're going to be able to pay off all of this debt. How much debt do you have?
I'm down to about 25,000 remaining. I was up to about 34 until I started the baby steps. So I've cut down to about 9,000.
Awesome. So we can pay off the debt.
At the end of the day, I'd love you to live on your income. Don't touch this money.
Okay.
If you invest it and don't touch it, it'll double every 7 years. You said you're how old?
I'm 30.
So at 37, it'll be 1.6. At 44, it'll be 3.2. At 51, it'll be 6.4.
Okay. And then wow, that's just mind-blowing to think about.
Exactly. I mean, you're not even 50 years old, and you're worth $6 or $7 million if you'll behave. And you don't need to, just if you got no debt, you can live on your income, can't you?
It's going to be hard.
You've been doing it and reducing debt.
That's true. But
no whining.
A big reason I've been able to reduce debt is because I became a property manager for my parents as well, kind of as a side job. So one of the properties that we're going to sell, I was actually able to live rent-free for just taking care of it. And it was a duplex. I rented out.
Then you need to develop a career that you can live on.
Okay.
That's the other thing, which involves Ken Coleman's materials. So we'll send you a copy of Ken's book, From Paycheck to Purpose. But live on it and don't touch this money. That's the wisdom part of the game. Well done. You're going to be great. If you need more help, you call us back anytime. Great job, guys. That puts this hour in the books. Our thanks to Austin, Ben, James, Zach, and Andrew in the booth dudes. They make the show happen. I'm Dave Ramsey. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.